So before we go to our data validation and also skip logic, one thing you must note now is this. You see that this is a group, and inside this group you have this set of questions inside this group. Take note of this. And if I go scroll down, I see the note question that introduces this next group. And within this note question and this part of this group, you see that there's a small cross inside that indicates that if I create a question, it will fall inside this group, and if I create a question, this other cross outside will fall outside this group. Take note of this. So if I come here and I click, I can create another question in that group if I like. I can come here and I delete again. But if I come here and I click, I can create a question out of that group. Let's try. So if I come here, this cross inside indicates that it is inside that group. The one outside here indicates that it's outside. So if I come here and I say name, for instance, this is just an example. We are going to delete. And then I say add question. Since it's name, I put text. And I save. You see that this question name is outside this group. So if I come here and I close that group, you see that that question will be appearing before the note question, because I just created this question outside that group. This is very important for you to take note. Now I can delete this question. Another thing I want to show you is that you can move around questions. You can toggle questions up, down, up, down. For instance, if I play with my mouse and it turns to this white cross that you see, I can hold my mouse down and I change the position of that question. You see what I'm doing? I've changed the position. Now I have removed name from here to here. This is important because there are times that when you design questions, you might require this. You might need to readjust your questions and reset it, okay, in order to to achieve this objective. And also take note, like I told you, anytime you make a changes, a small cross will appear on top of this save. This simply means that you have made the changes, okay? So if the changes is okay and I want to save, we'll just save. I click that. Once I click, it says successfully saved. That cross is no more. It means these changes that we made here is now applicable. It has been accepted. Okay. So now we want to look at data validation and skip logic. Now, what is data validation? Data validation simply means you want to give a particular criteria that you want participants to obey that criteria. They have to follow. And usually we always do data validation with age group. For instance, if you look at this question that asks for age, you will notice that anytime you are doing a survey or you are doing a data collection depending on the project, there are times that you are targeting children, there are times that you are targeting adults, there are times that you are targeting middle age, there are times that you are targeting very old people. So you have to make sure that data validation is set, because you want to ensure that only that particular criteria is followed. For instance, I want us to set that criteria in this question. But before we do that, I want us to delete some of these questions so that it will make it easy for us. Anyway, let's just go and set the criteria there, the age. I'll go now to this question. There are some elements around this question that you have to take note. If I click this small red button, it will delete that question. If I go to this small other item, it will duplicate. You can see the printed duplicate. It means that I can turn it to 2. If I click there, this question has become 2. You see, I have age and I have age. Take note of that. If I turn to this small one, it says add question to library. Okay, this is something we'll be discussing again really deep. After I've given you what I want to give you, we'll be discussing that, how to add your question in library, how to bring the question back in library, how to keep questions in your library, and anytime you can go and remove and use the question. But for now, let's just go directly to this setting. But I want to delete one of these because we have duplicated it. Perfect. So now I want to go to that age. So this is the age. I'll go there and I go to the setting button and I click. When I click the setting button, there are 2 things I'm seeing. I am seeing validation criteria and I'm seeing skip logic. It is written there clearly. Since I want us to start with validation criteria, I'm going to click that. When I click that, it says add a condition, and I'll click. Now, see what happens. In arithmetic or mathematics, there are some basic signs that we use them, especially around number line, greater than, less than, equals to, not equals to. So these are the signs. Let me start with equals to. Let's say we want age group that is equals to 20 years old, just 20 years old. I will now set the criteria and say, okay, I only want people who are 20 years old to answer my form. I will now come and choose this equals to, and I write 20, and I save this form. Once I do that, I'm going to preview this form. You can preview this form from the small I that you see there, and then I'll rush to that question. That's the age. Where is the question? Let's go there very quick. Okay, you see that if I write 20 here, is correct. If I write any other number, it's going to give me an error. There's an error. Value not allowed. If I write again here 30, it's going to give me an error. Why? Because I have only specified that only those with 20 years old should respond to this form. And because this error is coming on, they cannot submit the form. We'll be looking at that. Mandatory questions and etc. We'll be looking at that. So, any question thus far? So, right now, we have used equals to sign, and we have seen that equals to has gone to, we gave a criteria 20, and we're only able to put 20 or nothing. Or the machine was able to accept 20 or nothing. Now, we want to put not equals to 20. It means that anytime our respondents are putting any data in this particular age question, they should put everything but not equals to 20. Let me give an example. I've just put not equals to 20. I'll come up here and I save. Why are we saving? Because we want the system to accept our changes. I'll come here now to preview. And I'll rush to my age. And then I'll put 20. You see that when I put 20, it says value not allowed. I can put any other number but not 20. That's what that criteria is saying. I can put even to 2,000. It's accepting it. And this is the reason why validation criteria is very important, because people can make mistake and put 2,000 as their age. 2,000 years. People can make mistake and put, an old man can be answering a form and make mistake and put 1. And even make mistake and put 0. But you see that that criteria says only anything can enter the form, but not 20. That's why we are having this challenge here now. We cannot fill. Take note of that. Now, the next option I want us to put here is greater than. This other option that says greater than says it can be greater than 20, but anything below, we are not going to accept it. Let me also save. And then when I preview my form, you see that when I come here now, anything greater than, remember, greater than 20. So if I come here and I put 20 itself, there's a problem because I said it must be greater than. If I put 21, it is okay. If I put 2000, it is okay, greater than 20. But if I put 19, it will not go. You see? If I put 18, it will not go. If I put 1, it will not go. If I put 0, it will not go. Why? Because we have said it must be greater than 20. Okay? Let me break that again. Now, I want to give another option. Less than is still the same thing. If I put less than 20 and I save, and I come to my preview form here, and then I give the age to be 20. There's a problem. There's a problem because I said less than 20. So the only time that it will accept is from 19 because I said it must be less than 20. So now if I put 1, it will accept. If I put 0, it will accept because it is less than 20. So it's just the opposite of greater than. If I come again right here and I say, okay, it must be greater than or equals to 20. And I save. I'll come again here, and then you see that it says greater than or equals to 20. So here now I'm trying to give a condition that starts from 20 and upward. Okay? Remember that when I just said less than 20, it was starting from 19. But now that I'm saying that it must be equals to 20 or more than 20. So if it goes up, that's fine. We are just using 20 like an example. But if you put any figure here like 10, it will apply now to that 10. It will only apply now to that 10. Equals to or greater than 10. It will now apply only to that 10. So you must pay attention with some of these mathematical languages. That's 10. It's okay. If we say 11, it is okay. But if we say 9, it is not okay because it is less than 10. Now, another thing I want you to know is the same thing. Less than, greater than is opposite of. Now, look at what we can do here. I can come here and say it should be equals to 10 and I add a condition. And it should be greater than 10. I can still use this technique. You see that I did not use equals to and greater than in the same place. Here I come and said equals to this 10 and the same time less than this 10. So if it is equal to 10, it is okay. If it's no greater than, sorry, and I save. So I've used greater than or equals to or greater than in two spaces now, which will still work. So that's it, 10. It should be equals to 10. Okay, it should be greater than 10. No, sorry, it should be less than 10. 9, sorry. Okay, there's a challenge here now. Perfect, there's a challenge. I love this. Okay, it means that is a wrong, this is a wrong, it's a mistake in terms of logic. We are saying that it should be equals to 10. This is it should be less than 10. Let's try and see something. It should be equals to 10 and then less than, where is it? It should be less than 50 years old. Okay, and then we save. And then now we put it on again. Let's try this one. So we are saying that if it starts from 10, it should be equals to 10 and above. You see, 10. Perfect. But it should be less than 50. So if we put 60, there's an error. You see that there's an error. If we put 49, it's okay. Sorry, what did we put again? What did we put again? Let me see. We said it should be less than 50.
You said less than 50.
Yeah, I don't know what is happening.
Less than 50.
This condition must be met. Okay, all of this condition must be met. It must be equals to. Okay, perfect. There's a mistake we are making here now. Something cannot be equals to 10 and less than 50 at the same time. Okay, so we can say it should be greater than. So this is a logic. I love this. It should be greater than 10 but less than 50. Something can be greater than 10 and less than 50 at the same time. That is why this particular statement is saying that all of these conditions must be met. So now we have said it should be greater than 10 but less than 50. Because we are targeting those who are from 10 years old and above. So we say it should be greater than 10, which must start from 11. Perfect. But less than 50. So if we put 50, it's a problem. But if we put 49, it will go. 49, it will go. You see now. So the logic is very tactical. If we put 60, it will not go because we said it should be greater than 50. I mean less than 50. Okay, so the mistake I was making here, or we're making here, is this. Something cannot be greater than 10 and less than 10 at the same time. No, sorry, something cannot be equal to 10, sorry. It cannot be equal to 10 and less than 10 at the same time. Okay, so that is why we were having errors at that time. So it is either greater than a smaller number or less than a bigger number, because we are giving out a range, like you said, between 10 and the age of 50, like we saw here. So this is very, very important. So I'll just allow you now to test it from your end so that we will save this other record to repost. So right here, we want to do a skip logic. And this skip logic is very simple. There is a question here that says, do you have children? This question of do you have children, I would like to put, are you pregnant? Because you can still ask a male that do you have children? Are you pregnant? And I will save. Every time you make a change, you have to save, and this item will appear and say successfully updated. Are you pregnant? Now, the question, are you pregnant, goes specifically to a female. So, because of that, we want a situation where this question will only appear if someone had selected up here that they are female. This question of sex, that they are female. This helps us to clean our data while we are collecting. We don't want random questions to be appearing to people that is not useful. For instance, if I'm answering the question as a man, I don't want to see that question called, are you pregnant? I don't want to see the question. Only females will be seeing it because they'll be selecting female because they are females. I'll come now to this question that says, are you pregnant? And I'll go to setting again. And when I select my setting, I'll come now to skip logic. And they will say add a condition. You see that the moment we go to skip logic and add a condition, it gives us a different interface. It says select question from list. I'll come and select this sex. Amazingly, when you want to apply skip logic to any question, that question must come after the question that you want to apply skip logic to. For instance, this particular question, are you pregnant, cannot come before sex. We are not going to be able to apply it properly. So we are applying it properly because it comes after sex. That is why when I come inside the question and I go to skip logic, all the questions that come before the question will be appearing here. You see that every question that is after this question is down here, is not appearing inside this my criteria. So always take note of this. So now I want that this question called sex, anybody who is answering it, when they select female, that is when this particular question that says, are you pregnant, will appear. That is the criteria I'm giving. I repeat, I am saying that for this are you pregnant question to apply, to come to light, to show to the respondent, that respondent must have gone to the first question, which he or she will be responding. Under that particular question, they have to select female before this question called are you pregnant will appear. I'll give this condition and I save. You might be asking, what if they select male? Yes, of course. If you put male, it will apply, but males cannot be asked, are you pregnant? So it cannot apply to this question. Logically and biologically, it cannot apply to this question. So we are going to come and insist and say, no, until somebody selects female, that is when the question that says, are you pregnant, will appear. And then I will save. If I go to preview my form again, like I told you, every time you make a changes, you must preview a form. You see that if I come here and I select female, that question, are you pregnant, will appear. This question, are you pregnant, will appear. If I come here and I select male, that question will not appear. You see that that question is not there. You see, it's not there. We just have divorce. Are you divorced? Why are you divorced? When were you married? Are you married? Then the contact. But if I come again and I choose female, you see that that question, are you married? When were you married? Are you pregnant? You see that that question is appearing. It means that if a female select female, then that question will appear. But if I'm a male and I select male, I don't need to see that question because it's not relevant to me. And then I keep answering my form. This allows your form to be orderly and cleans your form while you are collecting data. Please try it, let's see.